So here we are live. You might not have been hearing me there. My bad. All right, we're up and running. So several auto draft picks, but Dollars Dynasty picks Jalen Hurts. So Marty Wandry took Lamar Jackson. So nice pick there. Jamar Chase to John Goodnow, Saquon Barkley to me, Jalen Hurts, Bijan Robinson to Victoria's Secrets, CD Lamb to Brad Blackwell, Stoops Troops, and Rooftop Bushes. Take Jahmyr Gibbs, running backs going early. So Mondays with MJ, that's MJ Baird from TV down in Wichita Falls. He takes Justin Jefferson. Good pick there. It's Harborough on the clock. Picks going quick. So I'll probably be the one that drags more than most. So give us a comment if you're viewing. I don't see any viewers listed watching live, but it's Harborough is on the clock. So a minute 10 left for it's Harborough. So MJ Baird with Justin Jefferson. Good selection there. I love the AI recaps also each season of our drafting. I usually take a beating. So down to 30 seconds for it's Harborough. Harborough. That's Ed Blosser. So I thought Eddie said he was going to auto draft. Usually the auto draft is a little quicker. Nico Collins, wide receiver. And Ashton Genty to Connor Carr and Big John's Chiefs are on the clock. Christian McCaffrey. Now I'm just joshing, goes with Josh Allen. Hey, there's a nice pick. Steve Anderson there. Max Patton out in Beckham County is on the clock. So we shall see what Maxwell does. So Max Patton taking his full allotted time, looks like 58 seconds left. Amon-Ra St. Brown, nice pick there, Max. Now G-Pop, which I think that might actually be Eddie. That's Eddie Blosser. I'm sorry, Ed. If I confused you with someone, my apologies. He takes Malik Neighbors, and now Block Party John takes Drake London. That puts Jeremy Schroeder on the clock. And I think Jeremy said he's working tonight, so he's waiting to auto draft, but he takes Derrick Henry, running back from Baltimore, and that puts Maroon Goons, which I believe is Jacob Silman, on the clock. Jacob might be here with us. Still no comments, but we do have 5 viewers, so give me a shout out and let me know that you're there. And yes, Steve Anderson, we will record it. Puka Nakua goes to Jacob Silman. Now, Goat Herd Fellas. Let's see who that is. Goatherd Fellowship. Sorry. Greasy Greg on the clock. He takes Bucky Irving, Tampa Bay running back. Now, Clean Sweep Jeff is on the clock. Luke Clement, sports director at Wright Radio, also in the group this year, as he was last year. Also, our college football pick'em. Let us know if you want to join in on that if you haven't, and send me an email to lawdogsports@gmail.com. So our lone LSU fan taking some time. No more. The big LSU receivers are gone, Jeff. Sorry. All right. Brad Blackwell checking in. Hey, Bradley, what's up? Doing the draft like you are, Bubba. Max Patton also checking in. Thank you, Maxwell. Brad in Weatherford and Max out in Sayre, somewhere around Sayre. And just 45 seconds left for the clean sweep, Jeff. I thought the auto draft would pick immediately best available, but maybe it's going through preferred players or something. So we will be live Monday or Friday morning at 9, Jeremy and I, with the Weekend Big Show. Also, we'll be joined by Ryan Hyatt from the Ryan Hyatt's Raiderland.com, as he'll talk some Texas Tech and Big 12 football. Big expectations in Lubbock this year. Max, actually, is it Delhi or Delhi? I'm not sure. Connor Carr. After the first time out, it will. Okay. So good to know. We will probably switch over to the mothership next season. I think Damon Schultz was telling me that it's a lot better sitch with ESPN. Delhi. Yeah. Delhi out in Western Oklahoma. So Max Patton there with us. And now Luke took A.J. Brown. Clean sweep. Jeff took Brian Thomas Jr., wide receiver, Jacksonville. A.J. Brown goes to Luke Clement, and then Luke turns around in the second round and takes Josh Jacobs, running back, Green Bay. So looking at some of the insider stuff, it'll be interesting to see if anybody takes Jackson Dart fairly early, because a lot of hype around him right now. Hi, Damon Schultz. Hope you like that banner up there at the top. 580-772-7587. A-plus Roofing and Construction, locally owned and operated by Damon Schultz. Sounds like I'm on a Weatherford broadcast. So Jeff still on the clock. He's got about 1:10. Thank you, everybody, for jumping in on the live stream. Hey, appreciate the love, man. One thing about Damon Schultz, and I said this on the broadcast last week or the week before, is he's not just some guy that's going to see something and say, "Oh, you need a new roof," or a storm went through last night, you need a new roof. He's going to make sure that you need a new roof. And that's something I don't know that I ran into when we lived in Norman. So try to build up Damon's brand in Normantown as well. So 30 seconds left for Clean Sweep Jeff. Then up will be Goat Herd Fellowship. So if you're on YouTube, let me know how it sounds. Kenny McGuire with the endorsement. A plus put a roof on my office, and Damon Schultz and his crew do a great job. Thanks, Kenny M. Kenny M. How come you're not in this league, Kenny? That's my question. But thank you for that endorsement, Kenny. Luke Clement checking in. What up, Lawdog? You stick with me. You stick me with the last pick on purpose. I had no doing with the draft order. And Goat Herd Fellowship takes Trey McBride, Arizona tight end, and Jacob Silman is on the clock. Damon giving Kenny some love for the endorsement. Kenny McGuire, I'm too busy to think a lot. Yeah, you do have a lot of irons in the fire. I'm not even going to lie, but yet somehow you managed to golf last Friday. So, there you go. Marty Wandry watching on YouTube on my TV and sounds good. Thanks, Marty. Marty on the back porch there in his abode in Clinton. And man, if I'd have known he had that set up, we might have moved the draft broadcast there. So Maroon Goons on the clock, a minute left before their pick. And the last pick was Goat Herd. Is it Goatherd or Goat Herd or it's Fellowship? Trey McBride. So anyway, we'll have a great show Friday morning for you with Jeremy and myself and Ryan Hyatt from Ryan Hyatt's Raiderland. And then we'll recap the OSU game on Thursday night and then also preview the OU game on Saturday. I'll be interested to see if our fellow Eagle CJ Nixon gets some snaps. And so Maroon Goons takes Kyron Williams. That puts Jeremy on the clock. He takes Brock Bowers, dadgummit. So now Block Party John on the clock. Jeremy with Derrick Henry and Brock Bowers. Chase Brown, Cincinnati running back, goes to Block Party John. Now Eddie Blosser up. He's already got Malik Neighbors. Jonathan Taylor goes to Eddie Blosser. Go G-Pop. Now Max Patton on the clock. So Max taking some time. No, it says, well, mine hasn't updated or something. So Mike Evans goes to Max Patton, and now on the clock, I'm just joshing. Steve Anderson. Sorry, Steve. It's going to take me a minute to remember your handle. Steve down in southeastern Oklahoma, they've got a group, and he said he was part of 2 drafts. So that's got to be fun. I need to move down that way. Steve's always got something going on. Of course, he might try to make me a Shriner. I don't know. So a minute left, but Steve takes Lad McConkey, receiver, LA Chargers. Now John Graves, gravy train on the clock. He's already got Christian McCaffrey. George Kittle to John, and Connor Carr takes Omarion Hampton, LA Chargers running back. That puts it's Harborough on the clock. And that's Ed. Steve, who is Ed somebody you brought to the league? I've lost track, honestly. My apologize. My apologies. I probably better get a quarterback. I think we've said your team's name a lot, Connor. Reigning champions. How about that? So still waiting on its Harborough. 16 seconds left. I believe is an auto pick, but I'm not certain. T. Higgins goes to its Harborough. Now MJ Baird on the clock. Marvin Harrison Jr. goes to MJ Baird. Justin Bashong, the rooftop bushes, on the clock now. Second round action. He takes Jackson Smith and Jigba. Brad Blackwell on the clock. And Damon Schultz now on the clock. Brad took Mark Andrews. Now Damon Schultz on the clock, making his pick. And Jaden Daniels goes to Damon Schultz. Dadgummit. So Babyface on the clock. Dollars Dynasty. Alvin Kamara. Now I'm on the clock. So let's see who we got here. And McLaurin is right there. Waddle, DK Metcalf, Xavier Worthy. DK. Damon Schultz. I hate taking a quarterback so early. Yeah, I fought it off. So we'll see. But I took the receiver. Now got Metcalf and Saquon Barkley. We'll see. And that puts Marty Wandry. No, I'm sorry. Coach Mo Jeff, our LSU fan, on the clock. Probably really irritated that, that Chase and Jefferson and Neighbors are gone. Burrow's out there. Might have to go quarterback this third round. Just saying. still waiting on Coach Mode Jeff with 45 seconds left. Really appreciate everybody jumping in. We ended up, I think, with 19 teams, which may throw off some of the matches, but we'll see. I'm not worried about it. If I got to bow out, I will. So waiting on Jeff. $15 seconds. James Cook, Buffalo running back. Now Marty Wandry on the clock. Terry McLaurin goes to Marty Wandry. Now he's on the clock again for round 3. Connor bowing out is just a normal week for you. Thanks, bud. David Montgomery goes to Marty Wandry. Now Coach Mode Jeff back on the clock. And then I'll be after that. So I got to figure out. I probably better pick a quarterback here somewhere. Boy, tight end sure would be nice, though. Burrow's there. Mahomes, Kyler Murray, Bo Nix, Mayfield. Dak Prescott. Rashee Rice out for several games to begin the season, so that could affect Mahomes, but not according to all of our Chiefs fans on here. What to do, Burrow or Mahomes? Because I'm going to go ahead and go quarterback here. Mayfield, gosh, he's got some good receivers. Herbert. Oh, Herbert. Dak on it. Goff. Ooh, Caleb Williams. So Coach Mode Jeff takes Garrett Wilson. No, that's not Garrett Wilson, is it? Yeah, Garrett Wilson. So I'm on the clock, and let's go ahead and do this. Pat Mahomes. Oh, Marty says Rice is playing the first 4 weeks. Well, there you go. All right, so I took Patrick Mahomes. That gives me DK Metcalf and Saquon Barkley. John Arnold, that's a good question, but you've had 2 picks already, pal. Let's see. Dollars Dynasty takes Zay Flowers, Baltimore wide receiver. That puts Damon Schultz on the clock. I think this is more players than we had, more teams than we had last year, John. So does put it in a different strategy, I guess. And Damon Schultz takes Devontae Adams. Let's see if he can reclaim his former greatness. And Brad Blackwell takes Joe Burrow. Justin Bichon takes Kenneth Walker the third in his third round pick. That leaves Mondays with MJ. Yeah, I think it'll be fun. I'm with you, John Arnold. Never done a league with this many, so definitely stretches some of the positions that people don't focus on right out the gate, regardless of what position. So I'll probably have some third string tight end lined up. So MJ Baird, and I believe maybe it doesn't say he's auto picking, so he's researching. That's a little scary because MJ knows football, even if he is a Patriots fan. Damon Schultz, definitely more strategy in the picks. That's true, and I just always feel like running back is probably where I should jump. And so MJ Baird takes Tyreek Hill. Justin Herbert goes to Ed. James Conner goes to Connor Carr, reigning champion. Chuba Hubbard goes to John Graves, and that puts I'm just joshing Steve Anderson on the clock. So we'll see where Steve-O goes on this one. I like the Lad McConkey pick he had earlier, but don't know if I'd pick it there, but you never know. Herbert's got to pass to someone. John Graves showing some faith in the Carolina Panthers, I believe, and Chuba Hubbard. Damon Schultz loves the Lad McConkey pick. Could be the breakout for sure. So I had the blue check mark on my Twitter page and let it lapse, and apparently that prevents me from live streaming on Twitter. So we'll reevaluate the value of the blue check. So Steve Anderson taking his time. He's got 15 seconds left. And he takes Devontae Smith. Baker Mayfield goes to Max Patton. Now Eddie Blosser. I think Baker's set to have a big season. I mean, he's got the Mike Evans target. They're pretty fired up down there. Could be a great year for Bake. Got to spend that 401k on golf balls and Twitters. I don't buy a lot of golf balls, Connor. I find a lot at Romano's. So Eddie Blosser takes Breece Hall, New York Jets running back. George Pickens goes to Block Party John, the Dallas wide receiver. Kyler Murray goes to Jeremy Schroeder. And now Jacob Silman on the clock. Third round action of the 2025 Lawdog Sports on Wright Media Fantasy Football Draft. Powered by A Plus Roofing and Construction, 580-772-7587. Call Damon Schultz, who's part of this draft tonight. And if you got roofing or construction needs, that is the place to turn. Defenses are going to be interesting. Baltimore, I think, is highly rated this season. Bo Nix, that'll be an interesting quarterback pickup. When are we going to get a Mrs. Ramsey interview so she can spill all the embarrassing stories? Buddy, my embarrassing stories are right out here. I don't hide much. If you hadn't noticed that, sorry. So Maroon Goons, Jacob Silman takes. Where'd he go? Travion Henderson, running back, New England. That puts Gothard Fellowship on the clock. There's not a lot of story. There's not a lot of embarrassing stories Mrs. Ramsey can tell because I throw most of them out. RJ Harvey, running back Denver, goes to the Fellowship, and that puts up clean sweep. Clean sweep, Jeff. Wait. Jeff, do you have two teams in this? What? All right, I smell some shenanigans here. Jalen Waddle. So now Luke Clement on the clock. He'll have the final pick of the third round, and he takes Bo Nix. Now he's got the first pick of the fourth round. So fourth round pick on the clock for Luke Clement. How did I miss Devon A-Chain up there in the second round? So Luke Clement takes Sam Laporta, tight end, Detroit. Xavier Worthy goes to clean sweep Jeff. Troya McMillan, the rookie, goes to Goatherd Fellowship. Now Jacob Silman. Greasy Greg. Marty Wandry says just announced on ESPN Dallas Cowboys have been eliminated from the playoffs. So Jacob Silman on the clock. He's already picked up Puka Nacua, Kyron Williams, and Travion Henderson. Cortland Sutton, Denver wide receiver, SMU grad, in the fourth round for Jacob Silman. Jeremy on the clock now. He's got Kyler Murray, Brock Bowers, and Derrick Henry. He takes DJ Moore, Chicago wide receiver. Block Party John. Dak Prescott goes in the 4th round. Tony Pollard goes to Eddie Blosser, Tennessee running back. Anybody going to take a flyer on Cam Ward? That'll be interesting. Max Patton now on the clock. Damon Schultz sending me a text of Ethan Downs and his trek now to Kansas City. He's signed a undrafted free agent contract, I guess, with KC. TJ Hawkinson goes to Max Patton, the Minnesota tight end. That puts Steve Anderson on the clock. DeAndre Swift, Chicago running back, goes to Steve Anderson, puts John Graves. For those of you who don't know, John Graves, a college friend of mine. He takes Jameson Williams, Detroit wide receiver. Now Connor Carr, the reigning champion, on the clock. Calvin Ridley goes to Connor Carr, the reigning champion. That will put up its Harborough. So Ed taking the full 2 minutes. He's already got Justin Herbert, T. Higgins, and Nico Collins. Tank Bigsby, Jacksonville running back, goes to Ed. Now MJ Baird. Travis Hunter goes to Justin Bashong. Isaiah Pacheco to MJ Baird. That puts Brad Blackwell on the clock with Damon Schultz following. Brad takes Caleb Johnson, Pittsburgh running back. Now Damon Schultz on the clock. And these auto picks are making it extra long. Of course, I think Damon's picking. Ooh, Roma Dunes. Olave. Damon Schultz take Ibuka from Tampa Bay. Receiver ranks are starting to get a little thin. I'll just say that. Is K9 and RJ Harvey solid to keep as running backs if I have Lamb and Nico as wide receivers? Huh. Man, you'd have to ask. We'll kind of field that question for the group because I don't know that I'm necessarily the one to be giving out fantasy advice. I'm kind of flying on this by the seat of my pants. But thank you, Kobe. I'd say a Denver running back isn't a bad thing. And has he already been picked up? I know K9 has. But thanks for the question, Kobe. We're just live streaming the draft. You might want to consult a little better fantasy expert opinion. So, and Roma Dunes is gone just like that. I shouldn't have said the word. Hmm. Could this be the year that Kyle Pitts breaks out and does something? Hmm. Lave's there at New Orleans, but who's going to get him the ball? Pearsall. He had a nice season last year. Judy, Addison. Cup is at Seattle, so Darnold will rely on him a bit. Godwin in Tampa Bay. Heck on it. Killing me. Marvin Mims. Stephon Diggs. You're welcome. So Chris Olave goes to Coach Mode Jeff, and then puts Marty Wandry back on the clock. So we'll see what Marty does. Connor Carr says RJ is going to be abused just like Kamara was, because that's what Sean Payton does. So he's a good pick. Ooh. You know what? I got a running back in mind. And we'll see. So I took Stephon Diggs. So we'll see how that goes with Drake May and all of that mess. Travis Kelce, the Chiefs tight end. John Arnold. Kelsey's too focused on Taylor Swift. Not sure how good. That's what steered me off of him. But then Marty turns around, takes Matthew Golden. That's the Texas kid, isn't it? Now I'm back on the clock because Coach Mode Jeff took Tyrone Tracy. 2 Minnesota running backs listed as the top available prospects. So Aaron Jones is my selection. That will pick up Dollars Dynasty. Kobe, if we didn't answer your question well enough, my apologies. But you got Lamb and Nico. You're doing all right in a 12-man, right? So that comment from Kobe is from YouTube. So thank you for that as well. Got 2 streaming platforms up tonight. So Babyface still on the clock. Ricky Pearsall, wide receiver, San Francisco, in the 5th round. That puts Damon Schultz up. He takes Jordan Mason, Minnesota running back. Deebo Samuel to Brad Blackwell. Now Justin Bichon. Jalen Warren. MJ Baird now on the clock. So MJ Baird takes Ja'Cory Krosky. What's that full name? Can't get it to pull up. Anyways, it's Harborough is on the clock. Hmm. Ho, ho, ho. Krosky Merritt. I saw that name and I forgot the Merritt part. Jacoby Myers goes to it's Harborough. That means reigning champion Connor Carr's on the clock. He takes Jerry Judy. John Graves takes Rashee Rice. Now Steve Anderson. Takes Tyler Warren, Indiana tight end, Indianapolis. Max Patton takes Javonte Williams, Dallas running back. Eddie Blosser on the clock. I think that's an auto pick. Jordan Addison, Minnesota wide receiver. Now Block Party John. I'm going to have to step away for just a second, fellas. All right, so Block Party John takes J.K. Dobbins, Denver running back. Juwan Jennings to Jeremy's team. Now Jacob Silman on the clock. So Marty Wandry's got a game Friday night in Clinton as the Heritage Hall Chargers travel to Custer County. That will be on Red Tornado TV at Wright Media. Marty is the sideline reporter for Red Tornado TV and 97.3 The Score. KCLIAM.com if you're out of town and want to listen to Clinton Red Tornado football. Trey Benson goes to Jacob Silman, Arizona running back. Watching Sports Grid on Roku. Gabe Morency has a little OU helmet sitting up on his mantle next to a humongous Michigan helmet. I don't know if that's a suggestion or what. So Goat Herd Fellowship. We're over an hour on the draft now as Travis Etienne goes to Goat Herd Fellowship. Then Brock Purdy goes to Clean Sweep John. Now Luke Clement on the clock. And Luke will also have the first pick of the 6th round. Marty, Max Patton has a question for you. How good is Clinton going to be? I think like a lot of teams in Western Oklahoma, they graduated a lot of talent last year, but I have to say this, Ethan Laughlin will be the one that I'll be interested to watch. And then the Powell, Coach Higbee was high. I think a lot of people are high on Easton Powell, the younger brother of Caden Powell, the last Clinton Red Tornado quarterback to win a state title. In 2021, right as we were moving out here to Western Oklahoma, Clinton won a state title. We get up to 9 o'clock, I'll probably have to put it on auto draft, honestly. So Luke takes Zach Charbonnet at the end of the 5th round, and then Keon Coleman at the beginning of the 6th round. Clean Sweep Jeff takes David Njoku. Caleb Williams goes to Goat Herd Fellowship, and then that puts Jacob Silman on the clock. Jaden Reed, Green Bay receiver. Braylon Allen goes to Jeremy Schroeder. Now Block Party John is on the clock. Max Patton, the voice of Sayre Eagles TV on Wright Media as well. Wright.media, as that is a stream-only broadcast. Max Patton and Wyatt Porter will be bringing you the call of Coach Craig Hickson's 4th season, I believe. So Eddie Blosser will be up after Block Party John. Colston Loveland goes in the 6th round. Now Eddie Blosser on the clock. Tucker Kraft, Green Bay tight end. Austin Eckler goes to Max Patton. Now Steve Anderson on the clock. Ramondre Stevenson still out there. Cam Scadaboo goes to Steve Anderson. Drake May goes to John Graves. Evan Ingram to Connor Carr, the reigning champion. Ramondre Stevenson to Harborough. Now MJ Barrett on the clock. Jordan Love still out there as well. Nick Chubb selected by MJ Barrett in the 6th round. Justin Fields to Justin Bashong. Now Brad Blackwell on the clock. He takes the Philadelphia defense. Damon Schultz. I have to wonder if Joe Mixon would have gone already if he wasn't kind of being, I think, kind of hedged out by the Houston Texans on the injury list. So Damon Schultz with the selection upcoming. Just about a minute left. And he takes Dallas Goedert, the Philadelphia tight end. Probably a good pick there. The 117th pick, Dollar Dynasty selects. Five seconds still on the clock. Rachel Tootin, 210. I'll take Ferguson from Dallas. Now Marty Wandry up after Coach Mode Jeff took J.J. McCarthy. And Marty takes the Baltimore defense. And Harrison Butker, the Kansas City kicker. Coach Mo Jeff takes Dalton Kincaid. So I think I'm going to take the Denver defense. Probably regret not taking a quarterback there, honestly. But you do what you do. So now Dollars Dynasty back on the selection. Still some big quarterbacks out there. Matthew Stafford, even though could be dealing with a back issue. Daniel Jones, Danny Dimes, as we call him on the show. Tyler Shook rated above Spencer Rattler, even though Spencer was named the starter this week. So we'll wait on Dollars Dynasty here. Henry Hunter, New England tight end. Now Damon Schultz on the clock. Hunter Henry. Luke Clement asks, is Max Patton ready for some Sayre Eagle football on Friday? Marty Wandry had said, first, Max Patton, remember that name, Wyatt Porter. He'll be doing play-by-play for a big-time network someday. Yeah, I believe that. Wyatt Porter. Marty says Clinton is young in the line. Max, the new center. And Luke had said, is Max Patton ready for some Sayre Eagle football? I'm sure he is. Steve Anderson on auto draft till he gets home. Damon Schultz takes Jerome Ford. Brad Blackwell takes Brian Robinson Jr. That puts Justin Bashong on the clock. With MJ Baird to follow. 7th round action. Zach Ertz, Washington tight end, goes to Bashong. Bashong rules. Max Patton predicting Sayre defeats Cordell 69-0. No offense, but that proves nothing. But still, a win's a win's a win. So MJ Baird on the clock after Bashong took Zach Ertz. I'm going to show you all my Weatherford wall real quick. I don't know if it'll stretch to see the girls. Marty Wandry don't like the Weatherford basketball wall I have. Yeah. Sorry, Marty. All right. So MJ Baird takes Marvin Mims Jr., and that puts Harborough on the clock with reigning champion Connor Carr. Afterwards, Jared Goff goes to Connor Carr, Jonnu Smith to Harborough. That brings up John Graves. He takes Joe Mixon, who's on the injured reserve, I believe, but will probably play some meaningful snaps for Houston. That brings up Steve Anderson, who takes Rashid Shaheed. And that brings up Max Patton, who has Austin Eckler, Javonte Williams, TJ Hawkinson, Baker Mayfield, Mike Evans, and Amon-Ra St. Brown. So Max could be pretty formidable. And now he's got Aaron Rodgers at quarterback. So we'll see how that goes. So Ed Blosser takes Jordan Love. Block Party John is on the clock. He takes Tyler Allegier, Atlanta running back up to Bijan Robinson. So maybe not a bad choice there. Luther Burden III goes to Jeremy Schroeder. I'm sure he's thrilled to take a Chicago wide receiver from Texas. No. That's the Missouri receiver. My bad. A little confused there. So Jacob Silman on the clock. As we may, like I said, 9:00, I'm probably going to have to end the live stream. May still do my draft live, but the live stream will probably shut down. So hopefully everybody's enjoyed it tonight. Fun to interact with you guys on a bit less formal level than Lawdog Sports podcast. We'll leave this up on the social media pages for a while. I don't know if I'll preserve this too long. So also, even though Marty was tacky about my Weatherford wall, we want to extend wishes of getting well to Clinton head coach John Higbee, who I think underwent a neck surgery. So hopefully Coach Higgs on the man. I like John Higbee. He's a good guy. He's a good interview. So Jacob Silman on the clock with Goat Herd Fellowship. After him, Jacob has Jaden Reed, Trey Benson, Cortland Sutton, Travion Henderson, Kyron Williams, and Puka Nakua. So I think he might be in the market for quarterback this go around, if I had to guess. And he takes Khalil Shakir, Buffalo wide receiver. Chris Godwin Jr. goes to Goat Herd Fellowship. Clean Sweep John is on the clock. He takes Dylan Sampson, Cleveland running back. Now Luke Clement with his 7th round selection. And Luke takes, at the end of the 7th round, takes CJ Stroud. Now he'll begin the 8th round with 7 more rounds to go. There's a receiver still out there that I don't know why he's still out there. It's not projected high, but he's produced in the past. So Luke Clement on the clock with his first pick of the 8th round. He's got CJ Stroud, and he takes Keenan Allen, wide receiver, LA Chargers. Clean sweep John on the clock takes Josh Downs, Indiana wide receiver. Goat Herd Fellowship takes Darnell Mooney, Atlanta wide receiver. That brings up Jacob Silman. All right, so we changed the logo real quick, and while I've got some of you on here, I just want to mention CCW Safe is a legal self defense coverage program, and they have plans that start as low as $19 per month, and all you have to go is go to our link here, and let me pull that up for you. So make sure your family and you are safe and protected, and the link there, ccwsafe.com, and it's there on the scroll. But as I mentioned, plans starting as low as $19 per month, and they offer self-defense support. They have deep expertise, personal care for self-defense coverage that goes beyond the basics. Trust the team at CCW Safe. And let me tell you something, they handle everything from legal defense to physical, financial, or emotional support. And they've helped some people who received some charges that were probably unnecessary. But I know the guys that started that corporation. Two of the three I worked with at OCPD, and they have done a great job. And they've got a great staff as well. One of their critical incident responders is a long time. He was a long time. He was a long time homicide detective at OCPD. I've known him for a long time, and he works for them. So it's a good service. And in this day and time, I highly advise people carry, particularly in an open carry or concealed carry state. And it's just kind of it's too important anymore with the things going on in this world. And then if you do defend your family, you don't know what you could be facing. So be sure and go ahead and give it a check. And if you go to that link, we get credit for your membership if you get one. And it's there on the scroll on the bottom. CCW Safe. I highly, highly, highly recommend them for a uh, self defense coverage, legal self defense coverage. So, and you can't be an idiot. You can't be out doing something stupid with a gun. So, you have to, yeah, you have to be in the right, according to what they show. So, but it's a good service, and they've helped a lot of people with it. All right, so let's take a look at the current status. I backed out of that for a minute, and now got to get my way back in. All right, so going back to Jacob Silman, he took Kyle Pitts, Atlanta tight end. Jeremy took Rashad White, Tampa Bay running back. Michael Pittman Jr. goes to Block Party John. Eddie Blosser takes Cooper Cup. The Buffalo defense goes to Max Patton. Steve Anderson takes Quinshawn Judkins. These are all 8th-round picks. Rashad Bateman goes to John Graves. Connor Carr, Wandale Robinson, New York Giants wide receiver. It's Harborough takes Tyjae Spears, Tennessee running back. Trevor Lawrence goes to MJ Baird, and that puts Justin Bashong on the clock. So anyway, as I mentioned, CCW Safe, check it out. Go through our link there if you would, and that way, if you do decide on a membership, we get credit for it. Justin Bashong takes Christian Kirk, Houston wide receiver. That puts Brad Blackwell on the clock. Brad with a pretty good team. Brian Robinson, Philadelphia defense, Debo Samuel, Caleb Johnson, Joe Burrow, Mark Andrews, and CeeDee Lamb. About 7 minutes before I'm going to probably stop the stream. That should give me time to have another couple of picks. But the draft will carry on, whether you're drafting yourself or auto drafting. Brad Blackwell takes Bryce Young. And that puts Damon Schultz on the clock. And Tua's still out there. Matthew Stafford. All right, so looking at some of the names. Adam Thielen. Damon Schultz takes Ray Davis, Buffalo running back. Dollars Dynasty takes Jaden Blue. Man, I was looking at that guy, honestly. So let's see who we got here. And I took Michael Penix Jr. Brandon Ayuk goes to Coach Mode John, and that puts Marty Wandry on the clock, who will also draft first in the 9th round. Marty takes Geno Smith, Las Vegas quarterback, in the final pick of the 8th round. Now he'll pick first in the 9th round. Kareem Hunt goes to Marty Wandry. Now Jaden Higgins to Coach Mode John. And where do I want to go here? I've got my quarterbacks. I probably better find a tight end, just going to say. Wonder what kind of outlet Okonkwo will be for Cam Ward in Tennessee. I've got a tight end, so let's look at running back again. Think they're big on Blake Corum in LA? A lot. Hmm. Bert Aubrey. Brandon Aubrey, sorry. Bert Auburn is the redheaded dude at Texas, I think. Still four of you hanging in with us. Cedric Tillman goes to Dollars Dynasty. Cam Ward goes to Damon Schultz. That puts Brad Blackwell on the clock. I better get a receiver too. It's probably going to be mine doing 2 receivers though. So Joshua Palmer drafted by Brad Blackwell, Buffalo receiver, and then that puts Justin Bouchon on the clock. Bouchon already with Christian Kirk, Zach Ertz, Justin Fields, Jalen Warren, Travis Hunter, Kenneth Walker III, Jackson Smith and Jigba, and Jahmyr Gibbs. So Brad, as I mentioned, with Joshua Palmer, MJ Baird coming up after Bouchon. So OSU plays Tennessee Martin tomorrow night. Saw that Thomas Terrier product Aiden Kelly listed as a potential starter, I guess is what it meant. I had a couple, him and another player's name. The other player or Aiden Kelly. So Aiden entering, I think, his redshirt senior year. So would love to see him get some meaningful snaps. Matthew Stafford selected by Justin Bouchon. That puts MJ Baird on the clock. MJ Baird goes with Brenton Strange. It's Harborough takes Tua Tagovailoa. Connor Carr takes Adam Thielen. Now John Graves on the clock. Demario Douglas goes to Big John's Chiefs. John Graves was a relief pitcher for Denny Crabaw's OCU Chiefs back in the 80s. I announced, was PA announcer for a couple of his games. Steve Anderson on the clock. He said he was auto picking until he got home. He may be home now. Steve Anderson with his 9th round pick. Says he's auto picking. So Steve Anderson takes Chig Okonkwo. That puts up Max Patton on the clock, who takes Hollywood Brown. Now Eddie Blosser on the clock. And he takes Rico Dowdle. Block Party John on the clock now. And he takes Trey Harris. Now Jeremy on the clock, who's auto picking. He takes the Kansas City defense. Jacob Silman now on the clock. Well, I said 9 o'clock, but obviously I've gone over. So what does NA mean by the name? I'm pretty sure that's not available. If I had to guess. There's Pup. There's questionable, which Jaden Blue's already questionable. Nothing out next to Matthew Stafford's name. So not sure who was unavailable. Jacob Silman takes Daniel Jones in the 9th round. That puts Goat Herd Fellowship up. So like I said, the AI recaps of my draft will be hilarious. I'll probably have to copy and paste those. But I'm pretty sure NA would be not available. Now, why that player's not available, I have to look a little harder. Ollie Gordon Jr. or Ollie Gordon II goes to Goat Herd Fellowship. Then Isaac Garendo to Clean Sweep John. Now Luke Clement on the clock for 2 straight picks. Final pick of the 9th round and first pick of the 10th round. I'm going to check out for just a second, fellas. All right, back here with you. Looks like Max Patton took Will Shipley. Is that the previous round? Let me go back and so Luke Clement in the 10th round takes Pat Fryermuth. Romeo Dubs goes to Clean Sweep John, Goatherd Fellowship, Minnesota defense. Sam Darnold to Jacob Silman. Cameron Dicker, the kicker, with Jeremy Schroeder, Xavier Leggett, Block Party John, Kyle Williams, go G Pop, that's Ed Blosser, Will Shipley to Max Patton, and Steve Anderson is on the clock. All right. 10 after 9. We're probably, I guess, about close to halfway through the 10th round. I missed Marty Wandry taking Kareem Hunt. So sorry, I forgot to mention that. Still waiting on Steve Anderson and his pick. 2 seconds. Jalen Wright, Miami running back. Big John Graves. He takes Rashawn Johnson. Connor Card takes Diami Brown. Harborough takes Woody Marks. That puts MJ Barrett on the clock. All right, so some quick picks. MJ Baird takes Damian Pierce. Justin Mashong takes Blake Corum. Jake Bates goes to Brad Blackwell. Quentin Johnson to Damon Schultz. Now Dollars Dynasty is on the clock. $35 seconds. Shadur Sanders goes to Dollars Dynasty. So banking on Shadur having the spot there. Adonai Mitchell, Indianapolis. Coach Mo Jeff takes Kyle Monaghy. That puts Marty Wandry on the clock. Marty Wandry takes DeAndre Hopkins. Now he's on the clock to begin the 11th round. Tyler Lockett, Tennessee wide receiver. Weird that he's not at Seattle. Theo Johnson, New York Giants, goes to Coach Mo Jeff. All right. Elijah Arroyo, Seattle tight end. I'm going to wrap up the stream. And you guys, thanks so much for tuning in. We appreciate all of you. And as I mentioned, be sure and check out CCW Safe as well as A Plus Roofing. We want to thank both of them for sponsoring this live stream of the 2025 Lawdog Sports on Wright Media Fantasy Football Draft on Yahoo Sports. Be safe out there. Don't text to drive and sure don't drink and drive. And we'll talk to you real soon.